Hello, everybody. I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey, everybody. Cantonese Cat here. I made a post a couple days ago, and apparently these posts are pretty popular. And I also have verbalized some of these like macro thoughts and things like that, where we're in the market, things like that, on some separate video in the past. So I'm just gonna do that here again, just share with you my thoughts that I've shared on X. I was having a discussion with my collaborator, the great Matt Spee. His handle on X is MattHughes13. I know his name is not very creative at all. He also has a YouTube channel here, by the way. It's called TGM Trading. Talking with him, basically just saying, man, like the market makers have really played this cycle here beautifully so far. Last week, the confidence of the whole market was just extremely poor. As prices just kind of gone down a little bit. Like it was even barely a dip on the market, right? Next thing you know, everything just kind of got gobbled up. And the sentiment this week is a lot better because price is a lot better. It's kind of funny how things work, right? But they really have destroyed confidence of retail investors in the market, making everyone focusing on valuation metrics, macroeconomic fears, yields higher for longer, currency speculation. A lot of people were asking me about what if the BOJ, the Bank of Japan, like hike rates higher than thought. Are we going to crash 20-30%? I keep getting questions like that, and I just kind of find it kind of silly because we've survived so much over the last 5 years, and people are worried about something like that. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Middle Eastern conflicts, politics, they really have gotten you distracted by paying attention to a lot of politics here. Market bubble narratives, everything to make you feel as fearful as possible. They threw the kitchen sink at you last week. Now, this is all happening while our technical analyses show that the indexes, Bitcoin, FinTech looks great. IWM looks like it's making higher highs and higher lows over the last year and a half. Many of the speculative stocks actually showing bottoming behavior. And altcoins also look like they could be popping anytime, right? They seem to be dragging out the cycle for a little bit longer than a lot of people thought, with things that people expect to happen sooner to have not happened yet. It seems to, a lot of things are just delayed, based on last cycle. Last cycle is extremely fast. When things are going, things are just popping. This cycle now, like whenever things pop, gets people offside, and it has like a pretty severe pullback, and a lot of people actually end up losing money if they end up trying to trade in and out of the market, or they end up having a lot of leverage position. They actually let the beta kind of like eat all their gains. So the thing about it is what ends up happening, and it's not just me, I'm not trying to just make excuse for myself, but because they're dragging out the cycle for longer, they're making things more volatile on the way up. And a lot of times the analysts like myself, we may be directionally correct. We think that this is a bull market. We have a lot of doubts being casted up on us by retail investors because we make a statement. We try to come up with a time frame. Again, none of these things are exact, right? But we try to come up with a time frame, and next thing you know, the time got wrong, got pushed back. Next thing you know, have a more severe pullback than previously thought, and a lot of people got really upset. So at this part of the cycle, even though analysts that are directionally correct as far as where we are in the cycle, and we're not getting the time exactly correct, a lot of the retail investors are casting a lot of doubts on folks like us. And the asset classes that I feel that retail should be interested in right now are being trashed on, doubted on, and unloved, right? Higher targets are being called unrealistic, including a lot of the posts I made on X, a lot of posts I made on YouTube. Whenever a dump happens at resistance as expected, everybody just started calling for lower targets. And you can see that a lot of the bearish posts, whenever that happens, a lot of bearish posts get a lot of engagement because people always think that things would go a lot lower whenever things are low, and things that go a lot higher whenever things are high, right? But it's still a bull trend, so I still think that it's more reasonable to have higher targets than to call for lower targets. Tons of analysts telling others not to chase the bull market, not just from traditional finance like CNBC, things like that, but even on like a lot of the analysts on X that a lot of retail are listening to. Actually, there's still a lot of people telling others not to chase the bull market, even though it's been making higher highs and higher lows. All of this is happening while whales are showing signs of accumulation. reaccumulation, and reaccumulation. Right? All of this is happening while you're focusing on price action over the last 3 to 6 months, while ignoring the fact that the cycles can typically last for years. When you're talking about cycles, you're talking about anywhere from like 3 to 4 years, typically speaking, plus or minus a year or two, right? But a lot of people are ignoring that. They just, it's like a perfect setup. This is exactly where sentiment should be at this part of the cycle. And it's kind of funny to see this happening over and over again because of what happened in 2022. A lot of people got really, really scared, and they are still traumatized. They don't think that higher targets are possible, even though the market has been proving it to us that this already is a bull trend, right? All of this to get you offsides, all of this to make you change your mind when everything starts to look really great again for months and months on end, whenever that might be. Maybe it's going to be coming up on Q1 or Q2 of 2025. Maybe they delay it to even further. We don't know. But all of this is designed to get you offsides, make you change your mind when everything starts to look really great again for months and months on end, that make you feel like you're missing out. At that particular time, then you're already offsides and you feel like chasing. And all of this to get you to call for higher targets, buying the dip, and chasing an euphoric and exhausted bull market near its end. All of this to get the rich richer and the poor poorer. All of this to get me to not talk about technicals individual stocks at this time. A lot of people are requesting charts, individual charts over on X, over on YouTube. I feel that it's more important to have like a bigger picture in terms of what's happening on the market. I think it's a lot better to actually take a just zoom out, take a look at what's actually happening, instead of just focusing on the individual stocks. Maybe focus on individual sectors, and also of the whole economy as a whole. Think critically. Don't really listen to anybody, including myself, right? Because they're really throwing the kitchen sink at you just to hopefully get you to trash whatever it is that I'm trying to say. And the whole setup is basically trying to get you to not listen to the narrative that I'm providing you right now, which I think is probably the most accurate narrative that in terms of where we're at in the cycle. Because a lot of people are not really listening to me. Matter of fact, on X, I'm not really gaining that much followers recently over the last few weeks. On YouTube, I'm also not really gaining that much followers. Matter of fact, like my subscribing on X for that $5 a month thing, like it really just has been stagnant. If anything, it's been kind of trending down here a little bit. Same thing on both on X and YouTube. Like YouTube, I actually am losing members. I don't really feel like saying anything outrageous to try to gain members. Like that's not what I do. I just want to share you my thoughts, my honest thoughts. It could be wrong, right? But because of how everything seemed to be stacking against my current narrative, it actually makes me feel more confident about it. It actually makes me feel that I should share these kind of perspectives more. Anyway, I just want to share this with you, about an 8-9 minute video to share you my thoughts. If you want to read this post in detail, feel free. If you want to follow me on X, feel free to do that. I'm going to try to do a little bit more of this, kind of share my thoughts whenever I can. Anyway, happy Friday, guys. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.